What's up, fam? Today we are looking at Matthew 5. I'm coming at you from our new location down the road. We're in mid-construction right now. This is the beginning of the famous Sermon on the Mount. And I'd like to spend our time today focusing on the very beginning of chapter 5, which is commonly referred to as the Beatitudes. You see, enormous crowds were following Jesus. He was the talk of the town. Everyone wanted to see him. The disciples, who were the closest associates of this popular man, were certainly tempted to feel important, proud, even possessive. Being with Jesus not only gave them prestige, but possibly also opportunities for receiving money and power. The crowds were gathering once again, but before speaking to them, Jesus pulled his disciples aside and warned them about the temptations they would face as his associates. Don't expect fame and fortune, Jesus was saying, but you should expect mourning, hunger, persecution. Nevertheless, Jesus assured his disciples they would be rewarded, but perhaps not in this life. Listen, there will be moments when following Jesus could bring us popularity. However, if we don't live by Jesus' words in this sermon, we will find ourselves using God's message not only to promote our own personal interests. Be very careful about this. Jesus began his sermon using words that seem to contradict each other. Blessed are the poor, blessed are those who mourn, etc. But God's way of living usually contradicts the world's. If you want to live for God, you must be ready to say and do what seems strange to the world. You must be willing to give when others take, to love when others hate, to help when others abuse. By giving up your own rights in order to serve others, you will one day receive everything God has in store for you. The Beatitudes can be understood in at least four ways. First, they are sort of a code of ethics for the disciples and a standard of conduct for all believers. Second, they contract kingdom values, what is eternal, with worldly values, what is temporary. They put those two side by side, you see. Third, they contrast the superficial faith of the Pharisees with the real faith that Christ desires. Fourth and finally, they show the Old Testament expectations will be fulfilled in the new kingdom. These Beatitudes, they're not multiple choice. We don't get to pick the ones we want and leave the rest. They must be taken as a whole. They describe what our default posture should be as Christ followers. Each Beatitude tells us how to be blessed. Blessed means more than happiness. It implies the fortunate or enviable state of those who are in God's kingdom. The Beatitudes don't promise laughter, pleasure, or earthly prosperity. To Jesus, blessed means the experience of hope and joy independent of outward circumstances. To find hope and joy, the deepest forms of happiness, we must follow Jesus no matter what the cost. And that's the lesson for today. Peace be with you.